two rival gangs, one of which was renting land on my property, using a front person to get access to the land. Two rival gangs confronted each other. One of the cottages that was located on my land that was owned by a rival gang was being targeted, and the other gang came in the middle of winter, burned down the cottage. In fact, they mistook the cottage my daughter's cottage for the one that they thought belonged to the member of the rival gang. My daughter, who was at that time advanced pregnancy, was devastated by what happened. Essentially, they came in the night across the river on skidoos, came to the cottage, stole gas out of the shed near the cottage, lit it on fire, and within a few hours, within an hour, the cottage was basically destroyed completely.
Obviously, we see the impact of what this type of criminal activity can have on a community and specific individuals, even if there isn't a deliberate targeting of individuals. They become byproducts of criminal actions, and that, of course, concerns me a lot. You've seen for yourself the extent of the task at hand here in terms of the border that has to be patrolled, the work that the RCMP and the Quebec police have on their hands, as well as the Canada Border Services Agency. So it's a large task. I think there are things that can be done, but as I've indicated elsewhere and earlier, we need to be working closely with all of the law enforcement agencies, and I think take steps to reach out to the Americans to work more closely with them. In fact, that has been part of the discussions that I've had with the Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano in terms of signing agreements to share information on organized crime in border areas between Canada and the United States. And of course, that impacts directly on a place like this.
You know, the smugglers not to use it. I was very worried, and then when it happened, I mean, it was like here, the minister was aware that it was going to happen, I was aware that it was going to happen, and it happened. You know what I mean? And at a certain point, where does the buck stop? You know, are we living in, are we living in Afghanistan? Are we living in a lawless society?
And that's the biggest concern. Right? The biggest concern is not the individual acts of tobacco smuggling or anything else, but it's what it leads to a sense of lawlessness where you don't feel secure. Right? That's the problem.